Hey YouTube. I am going to kind of get a more detailed look today at the cosmology I've been drawing, what I am now calling Blood Earth. And if you haven't watched my previous video, I think it's titled Flat Earth Plasma Model Blood Earth, I think is what it's called, where I draw this, right? Model of our Earth and explain it. I guess I could go into a very brief explanation so that you're caught up so we can kind of proceed. But there's something I want to change on it, which is why I'm making this video, because the further I got into looking at it, there was some really obvious realizations that stuck out to me. So see how I've drawn the flat Earth plane here, right? So just to catch everyone up, this is the flat Earth. This is our dome, okay? This is the choke ring in the center. These are the electromagnetic fields, bowl-shaped fields that you got the blue and the red because the plasma is coming in this way. Geez, I don't know how much I should explain on this video. Because I'd rather not go too deep into this and kind of catch up and say what I'm going to say about the center. But anyway, so we're currently in the blue world in this electromagnetic field where the plasma is coming in this direction, and we've got it focalizing the light, making a sun, and blinding us here to where we are. And then you've got the red world where the light comes from under your feet, and this is the golden age and the land of where everything is giant. So, and then the other part of this model, of course, is that there is a plasma switch where the plasma switches directions, and then you've got it in reverse, and then we're living in the golden age in the red world. So what I want to talk about on this video is this actual cosmology of this right here, because I realized something as I drew this, and that it really should, because this doesn't look, you're not looking at that the way we should be looking at it. So I'm going to take a dark pen and make this a little bit more clear as to what you should be seeing when you look at this. And I'm going to show you some photos on my phone that I took from videos that will give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Oh, and I've got a lot of pictures on here. So you've got the flip ring and you've got the choke ring. And these are the places where the matter collects. So you only have light that gets through the dome from the plasma. Only light gets through. So plasma is the fourth stage of matter. And when it hits our dome, nothing gets through but the light. And then it focalizes like a magnifying glass and creates our sun. And the matter, all the matter from the plasma collects here in the center. That's what we went over last time. I'll just show you another quick photo of that, where the plasma, or where the matter collects in the center of those electromagnetic fields. So that creates, you know, the world, really. So we are, and I can actually draw that even better. Come on, Suvi. So we live on this flip ring, this ring. They're concentric rings. Think of it like music. And so let me draw it on a different piece of paper. Looking down, we live where the matter is. Everything in between is water. Separated the waters from the waters. So it's like a bullseye, right? This is our world. This ring of matter is our world. So this would be like the center point where you don't see anything is like the Arctic Ocean. It's the ice gap, you know, the thing that's separating this world from this world. The choke ring, you guys, the choke ring is this. Hold on, I took a picture of it. And this is a picture everybody knows. Everyone is familiar with this. And we all know what it is. Here it is. right? The center, the four rivers. Sorry, I didn't give you so much boob there. The four rivers coming out of that center. So that's the choke ring. That's where their hidden continents and probably where they're controlling us from would be my guess. I do think matter is denser there. That is one of the densest points of matter. So in some of the, like the Hubble telescope pictures and stuff of other worlds that are like ours, sometimes you can only see the choke ring because that's where the matter is collected the most. So that is the choke ring. You all know what that is, okay? So, and I've been watching this one guy's work, and he talks about how north is downhill. And if you look at the, well, you can't see it in my drawing, but on the primer fields, you will notice that the choke ring is, I shouldn't take so many pictures. You know, the choke ring, see how it's below the flip ring. So the yellow one is the flip ring and the purple one is the choke ring. So the choke ring sits lower. So where's another picture of that? I was realizing, well, if there's a flip ring and a choke ring, obviously the choke ring is also the world. It's also matter. It's also a space like this. I don't know why that took me a minute to see that, but it did. And so this one has dots, so you can see the dots representing the flip and the choke. Got the two that are closer together, that's the choke, and then the two on the outside, those are the flip. And that green dot in the middle represents the flip point. So it's where the magnetic energy switches directions in the bowl-shaped electromagnetic field. So that's your flip point. So anything above that's going to go this way, anything below that's going to go in the other direction. So that's what that's symbolizing. So anyway, so the north, the center is downhill, and all of the water flows in that direction. And it is those are the center continents. So this guy's work was pretty cool. So he measured distance with the eye and noticed that he could see 15 miles when he looked south. And I think he went to elevation to do this, and he could see 30 miles looking north because it is a down sloping direction. I didn't take a picture of that to show you guys, but that was what his work was saying. I was like, oh my gosh, that makes sense because of the way the flip and the choke ring sit inside the bowl-shaped magnetic field. So you've got, you do have a center world there. And now that's not this world, the red world. That's not this. It's not the other side of it, but it is hidden land that absolutely is here. It is the cosmology, and we've all seen that center cosmology. I mean, it's been on so many maps. We know that exists. You know, go read The Smoky God. I'm actually thinking about doing a video where I read it to you guys. So that area, I was thinking, since it's in the center like that, and at the hole where the flip takes place, it probably is pretty different than this outlying land that we live on, because it probably is subject to some, how do you say that? Like the plasma going both ways. So it's still in this world where the light's coming down this way, but it's also by that center ring. You know, that's something about that, like the green astral jet that comes out of there. So they are probably subject more to two different light sources there, is what I'm thinking. And so that's why that world would be different than ours. And probably they haven't mined it either. So I was also going to show you how, so this guy took pictures from, like, the Hubble telescope puts out pictures of space that they take, and all of the, you know, I took these pictures on my computer, so they're going to be shitty, but you see the bowl-shaped magnetic fields that surround that nebula or star, whatever the fuck they're calling it. There's the bowl-shaped magnetic fields to a world that is concentric rings, which I actually have a better picture of that. Like, I mean, look at this. Here you can see the bowl-shaped magnetic fields, and I wonder sometimes if they're catching these pictures during a plasma event. That's why, you know, like they probably fucking sit and wait to see when the plasma switches directions on our neighboring worlds. And look how many of these look like eyeballs too. It's amazing. But the concentric rings, so think of it, you know, and they always show, when they do like those Thor movies and they talk about Asgard and stuff like that, they always show it the same way, don't they? They show this. They show it looking like that because that is exactly what it looks like. We're talking concentric rings with bowl-shaped confinement domes over the top, and the electromagnetic fields, of course, are not visible. They're just what forms the matter. So whether they're forming the ice dome or the concentric rings in the middle. So, you know, you could think of it as like musical notes. I mean, and that's probably why it's called Midgard, you know, with that center landmass, and you have our ring. Who knows, maybe there's an outer ring as well. Where are more concentric ring pictures? But they all look like this. They all have these bowl-shaped fields with domes and concentric rings. And when you start to look through all of them, there it is. There's another concentric rings. So it's not like a flat earth plane. It is rings of matter. Like, think of like a stone falling in water and the concentric rings coming outward. So it kind of puts a different spin on the flat earth plane aspect, in the sense that it's just a little bit more, it's not as straightforward as that. So, you know, and out here you have the ice wall and the dome, and I don't know I'm not going to speculate what's beyond that. There may be another ring, there may not be, but there absolutely 100% is a choke ring, because that is the cosmology. That's how these bowl-shaped magnetic fields work. You've got the flip and the choke. So that center point is 100% there. It exists. There's no way that it doesn't. And it's probably this. So you've got the waters in between our worlds, and you've got this choke ring in the middle. That's what that is. That's a choke ring. And that's, you know, they call it Eden and all these different names. And I do think the 4 different continents have different names, and the 4 different rivers, obviously. And, you know, what's at the center, to me, looking at this cosmology, is open for debate. I think you've got matter that collects and shoots up there. So I do think there is a magnetic barrier. And so you would need the plasma to switch directions to actually go through that space. Like, I don't think that you can go on a boat from here to here. But I do think you can go on a boat to the inner choke ring. And perhaps you could even go on a boat outside of here to here. I mean, I don't know what kind of traveling that would be like. It would probably be pretty dark. But I do believe there's water between everything and the plasma, you know. So we need to start thinking about this as in we are in the body of another being. So if you look at the veins and arteries of a human, you've got the blue and the red. And the red, you know, is like pumping oxygenated blood from the heart through the body. And the blue veins are when there's no oxygen left in the blood, and it's going to be shot up back through the heart. So, and to be re-oxygenized. And you know there's no fucking oxygen here. So, you know, it's starting to be within my theory that, you know, when you're in a blue world, you're sort of in the blood that is needing to be revitalized, repumped through the heart. through the heart. That's why the heart's been such a big part of our understanding of this initially. So, and then of course there's speculation that one's really trippy. I don't even know if it shows up that well. Can you see the blue and the red? But so there's a lot of speculation too about not only that we're in the body of another creature, in the vascular system of a larger human, or who knows, but that we are in the eyeball of this creature. But what I'm having trouble with like, say the creature is sleeping with their eyes closed, and when they open their eyes, you know, and I don't know how plasma works in the eye, that, you know, that's when it switches directions. But also the eye, if you look into, sometimes words just fly right out of my head, anatomy, the eye is the only part of the human body that has some of the same material as the egg, the human egg. There's like a vein that runs through your eye that is the only place in the body. It's the same substance, like a gel-like substance, as the cord in the womb, the egg. So the egg and the eye are almost identical. And here I can show you some imagery there that will help you with that concept. So I don't have an eyeball picture, but I think we can all agree we know what that looks like. Well, here's a human egg. Okay, there is a human egg. Looks an awful lot like a freaking eyeball. So I am of the opinion that we are, okay, so look at, here's, oh wait, what is that? Oh, that's an egg. That's a little egg with a little guy coming in. Almost looks like a parasite. So the idea is that we are inside of a body, and that we are waiting for the plasma to switch directions. And one of the other things, you can tell I'm not that organized today, but hopefully you guys are getting me. One of the other things I started to think about was like the moon. And Brian Austin Lambert was talking before he quit his videos, or he moved them to somewhere else. He was talking about how the moon is an ice dome. And, you know, I've been looking at it a lot since he said that, and I see what he's talking about. It does seem like a more applicable idea than others I've heard. And he started talking about how it's in the North Pole. Oh, I didn't grab a picture of that. Well, you'll know what I'm talking about. So, you know how in architecture they do the dome, and they do a lot of art in these domes of people ascending and all of this stuff, right? Well, the dome almost always has like another little dome on the top, right? Something like that. And the moon is obviously smaller than our dome. And so I started to wonder, like, well, does our dome just have another little dome up there? And that's what we can see? And maybe it's convex versus concave, and we're just, you know, it's the human eye and how we're taking it in. And I noticed on the primer fields that he talks, and I don't know, it might be hard to see with these because to go through that video and really look, but some of these formations, you can't see that, can you? Shit, you can't see that at all. Are bubbles within, oh, maybe they're angled, have bubbles within bubbles, domes within domes. So maybe it could be that we have, that our moon is a dome within the dome. Let's see if there's another better picture of bubbles inside bubbles. Bubbles inside bubbles within the fields. So my curiosity, once I looked at that, look at those fields, was if there is a bubble within a bubble, and we did have a dome above our dome, then I started to be like, well, if there's a dome there, then isn't there like a flip and a choke ring there? But I couldn't quite figure out that cosmology yet. I'm still figuring that part out, the whole moon the moon idea of how it fits in. But that is something we see repeated a lot in architecture. So, you know, I mean, I think that it's an applicable idea. I'm not 100% certain on it yet, but you do see that a lot, that dome. I mean, even like the Capitol building here in the U.S. has that dome with a little dome on the top. And there's so much artwork like that. I should have taken some photos of that to share on this video, but I think you guys probably know what I'm talking about. So I feel like not only is this the correct cosmology with the electromagnetic fields and stuff, but what I want to make more clear this time is that we are living on concentric rings. And there is a choke ring, and that choke ring is matter, it is Earth, and it is in the center. There is more land there. And it's just black and white. I mean, if you look at that cosmology and look at how it works, watch the primer fields if you can get through them. They're a little dry, but you know, just put them on and like do something else and glance at them and slowly take it in. Maybe watch them more than once, because you know, you can really apply this to anything you're seeing in the stars and the lights in the sky and to our own cosmology here. And we, you know, they're living somewhere here that they're controlling us from. So I'm pretty sure it's that choke ring. And it only makes sense that if there's a flip and a choke ring where matter collects, that they're both land masses. Duh. And if north is downhill, like these people are discovering, and so in the Smoky God, one of the things that really affects their journey is this current. They're in their boat, and this current is just drawing them and pulling them north, northeast. And because they have a compass on the boat the whole time, and their compass does all kinds of wacky things. But they're constantly being pulled in that direction. It's because it's downhill. It's downhill, and all the water is flowing that way. So I think once you got past the ice and stuff, that the bifrost or whatever that separates it, you're going to really strongly be pulled to that magnetic core. So I just wanted to show that proof of the center lands and how that is dense matter that exists there, and how that is the Eden or the place we were thrown out of or whatever, and we live out here on the flip ring. So I do feel with 100% certainty that that land is there. It just makes complete sense. So tell me what you guys think. Tell me what you think about the dome over the dome too, potentially being the moon, because I really think that there might be something to that. And Brian, if you watch this video, please chime in about that, even in your mild way, and let me know, you know, thumbs up or down. Because I'm pretty intrigued by that, because I would imagine there would be more matter there if it was a bubble inside of a bubble. So so there you go. So there's 100% proof that there is a center, that this place exists, and it's probably where the elite are controlling things from, but we won't know till we go there to the choke ring. All right, so that's my video on that. I hope you guys enjoyed it and have a great day, and as always, much love.